Hello, hello. I am Mick Collins with Tree Consulting. This is going to be the February ingresses of the planets into new signs, as well as the new moon and full moon for Sagittarius risings. If you are here on Patreon, thank you so much for giving me your extra coins. If you are coming over from YouTube, thank you for being here. And if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. If you end up liking my work and would like to leave me a tip on coffee or Venmo, I'd really appreciate it. All of the funds that I make end up going to my nonprofit organization called FAPEN, which is the free um, and appropriate public education network. It helps with special education advocacy for families who need it. Okay, Sagittarius Risings, let's get into this month and what it means for you. The first ingress we have is on Monday, February 5th, and that is when Mercury moves into Aquarius. Now, today is January 18th, and Mercury is officially out of its shadow period from the last retrograde cycle. And so Mercury is kind of flying by through all of the signs. He's only staying in each sign for about 2.5 weeks. And so with this, it's my handwriting. I wrote it. Um, your siblings might have a nostalgic conversations about the past that need to be let go for better things to come. It's okay to mourn how things used to be. Okay. On Friday, February 9th, we have the Aquarius new moon at 20 degrees of Aquarius. And here's the thing. If your siblings are asking to borrow money, or if your neighbors are asking to borrow money, you need to really think about whether or not you can afford that, because when you lend someone money, there's a very high probability that you're not going to be getting that back anytime soon. So consider it more of a gift than a lending type of deal. Um, and if you are giving it as a gift, consider how many hours you're going to have to work in order to make up that difference and whether or not you can actually afford it. Um, on Tuesday, February 13th, we have Mars moving into Aquarius until March 22nd. And for you, Sagittarius risings, I know receiving criticism on something you've created is hard, especially when it's not constructive criticism. But know your values and work ethic will get you through whatever criticism you're getting on your creative works. Um, Valentine's Day is the next day on Wednesday. Um, and it is your fourth house, I believe. No, third house is what we're working on here. Um, just be aware that Mars and Pluto are meeting up. I practice traditional Western astrology and I focus on the traditional seven planets. Pluto is an outer planet. I usually don't talk about him too much, but to have Mars and Pluto have an exact meetup in the third house, um, tech could go awry, your commute could go awry. Um, there could be things being unearthed in your siblings' lives or in your neighborhood, or so just be aware that Valentine's Day could be a little interesting this year. On February 16th, which is a Friday, we have Venus entering into Aquarius and joining the Aquarius party. Um, and however you plan on getting around on that Friday, might end up being more scenic. It might not be a straight shot than you originally thought. So you're going to want to add more time to whatever um, your plans were. Um, Add in more of a buffer and have some backups in place just in case you need them. All right. On Sunday, the 18th. Oh my God, I am so tired. I'm sorry. We had snow slash sleet by us the past couple of days, and I had to remove the ice, and moving ice is a whole lot harder than moving snow. And my body hates me and I'm old, so I am now so exhausted. Anyway, on the 18th, it is now Pisces season. And it will be that way until March 19th, which is when we have the spring equinox and it's Aries season. For you, Sagittarius risings, are you becoming more firm in your boundaries at home and with family? It might help you with those routines you were slowly trying to grow. A little selfishness is okay, just don't go overboard with the selfishness. Sometimes when you need something and it's hard for you to express the thing that you need, you can go a little over the top with the thing that you need. It's also possible that your family won't understand the things that you need and will therefore call you selfish when you're not being selfish. So it's okay to have personal boundaries. It's okay to have needs. When I say boundaries, what I mean by that is you set the rules. For instance, we're not a drop by house. Like you need to call and let me know that you're coming. Part of that is my anxiety is not built for drop by visits. Part of it is that I have two dogs. One of those dogs, her anxiety is not built for drop by visits. So I need to like figure out what I'm doing with the dogs. And I also have kids that want to come run into the door. Like we're not a drop by house. And so we had a family member who did not care. She didn't care at all. She would just drop by, be in the driveway and be like, I'm here. And she came in and I calmed down because I was angry. She knew what the rule was. And I looked at her and I said, the rule of this house is that you need to call in advance before you drop over. The next time you stop at this house without giving me a heads up, I will not let you in. So the rule is we are not a drop by house. The boundary is when you violate that rule, this is what I'm going to do. That's a boundary. Boundary is something that you can control. So you can't control what they decide to do. Okay. So this is the rule. These are the consequences that happen that I'm going to enforce when you don't follow this rule. And trust me when I say people will end up being manipulative, they will try and make you feel some type of way about it. If that's what you need for your mental health, by all means, set up those boundaries, okay? And setting them up with the family you came from is a lot harder than anything else. On February 23rd, we have Mercury moving into Pisces, and this is your fourth house. Mercury and Pisces, I've said this in almost every video, is like listening to podcast bros. There's a lot of words. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a lot of hype, you know? And Mercury is combust. It's very close to the sun. So it's like being on a stage and having the house lights up and the musician can't see the first row. Um, but at least they look pretty. Yeah. So for you, Sagittarius rising, are you hearing good news about your home? Maybe about the plumbing, like maybe you thought something was going to cost a lot more than it was and they're telling you it's not. Just make sure that you get a second and a third opinion because this news might be overly optimistic. It will get sorted by March 9th when Mercury heads into Aries, which is only 2.5 weeks later. Um, when so I would just hold out. Don't sign any contracts about that kind of stuff. Yeah, just make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. All right. When it comes to the last transit of the month, which is Saturday, the 24th, this is the Virgo full moon. So whatever it is that you started at the Virgo new moon 6 months ago in approximately September, I don't remember when it was, your career goals are feeling super attainable. And that a wrap up of what started 6 months ago has paid off, even if your family is judging you or your decisions. Okay. So once again, Sagittarius Risings, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy my work and you're on YouTube, please hit that like, and subscribe. That will help me out a lot. If you have a couple extra coins to spare, there is like a $1 fee on Patreon subscription. There's you can send me like something on Venmo or coffee. Um, all the money is going to the nonprofit organization that I'm trying to get up and running for special education advocacy for free because it's a pretty penny. And reading legalese is really hard if you haven't had to do it before, and I've had ample experience with it. Um, Thank you for being here. March's stuff will be up on Patreon for early release on Tuesday, February 13th. It'll be up for everyone else on YouTube or for public release on Patreon on Monday, February 26th. Until then, have a wonderful month. Make good choices, which is what I tell my kids. Which is funny because my daughter said that to my husband the other day. Anyway, and know that you are worthy of all the good things that are headed your way. Bye.